back to where we left off. So, after everything you went through this season, it then comes out that Robyn actually did know about Juan stepping out on her. She actually did cheat on her last year, like right before they're getting married. So for you to like watch this go down and to hear the podcast and to hear that Giselle knew about this the whole entire time, like the entire time she's trying to throw you under the bus, paint you in this negative light, make you seem like a scumbag, come to find out that Juan Dixon was actually stepping out, actually being a scumbag, and she was covering for him while trying to defame your character. Like, what goes through your mind when that came to light?
Okay, so we all, as members of this platform, we all have things we don't want to come out, right? So I don't blame Robyn for not wanting to share that particular segment of her life, right? That's fair. And if we're being honest, I mean, Robyn's received a ton of scrutiny for 7+ years about her relationship with Juan. And, you know, as someone who has an ex-wife and kids, and I'm sure you understand, right? You do what you have to do to make it work for the kids. Yep. And that can be difficult at times, no matter what your relationship is. And so not wanting to share, I don't blame Robyn for not wanting to share. Giselle knowing, I also understand that's your friend. You don't want to put your friend on blast. I can respect that. But what I don't respect and what has been circling in my mind since this has come out, there's two things, but the most important being, did you make a big deal out of, I don't even want to say our situation, but the situation to deflect? I mean, that's a natural place for my mind to go. It's a natural place for Candiace's mind to go. And it just makes the situation and the storyline and the plot that much more disgusting. Mm-hmm. It's like, I would like to believe that wasn't the case, but it's a hard pill to swallow to say that wasn't the case, right?
Yeah.
Like that. It's very plausible. And I just can't get past that this is what you were doing.
Objective third party, like we talked about it immediately after you pointed out what was going on to me. Yeah, like in our opinion, or at least my opinion, like that's exactly what happened. It was 100% her to be like, look, I got you, girl. Like, I'm not going to let your shit come out. I'm going to throw some shit somewhere else, and I'm going to fuck up his life because I don't want your life to get fucked up. But you want to keep this on the lowdown, like I got you back. That's what I think.
Yeah, no, I fully agree with that. That's kind of what it seemed like. And we can get into it a little bit further where she is now charging fans money to hear the full story. It's like, yo, come on. Like, and we had this discussion last night. We filmed the podcast. We were thinking, all right, like, how does Bravo feel about that, though? Because we can watch this unfold on their show.
That you get paid for.
That you get paid for, but it's not enough. You have to go charge people money to hear the quote-unquote full story, which, by the way, there's no way that's going to be the full story. It's not going to be true. You're going to withhold a lot of information regardless.
Jen Shaw situation. Like,
exactly,
yeah. The fucking story.
It's not as bad, obviously, but it is like, it's infuriating to see because we went through this tired-ass storyline throwing you under the bus. We went through a lot of tired-ass storylines. Here's something that's real, legit, that we could actually watch unfold and be like, fuck, that sucks. Like, how much did you know? Did you aid and abet this? Were you just actively trying to hide it? Who else knew? Who else was keeping it under wraps? Like, was Karen keeping it under wraps the whole time? And then struck, like, there was so much there that we could have seen. And you held it out. And now you're going to give us the full story, but at a price. Like, that's some bullshit.
That's bullshit.
Right, whether it's 5 cents, $5, or whatever they charge, right? Mm-hmm. You are on a platform that pays you very good money. Like, I know the money that you make because I know what my wife makes. And
Yeah.
you've been on the show longer, so I know your paycheck is bigger than my wife's.
Yeah.
So you're on a platform that is paying you significant money to speak about your real life.
Mm-hmm.
And you withhold that information. And I get it. That's damning information. And you're trying to raise two young boys in a world that doesn't really appreciate black people. If we're going that route, right? In a sense, we can throw that in there. And it's a difficult road to navigate. And I fully respect that. I do. I don't have any qualms about withholding the information. Where the issue comes in is that you're on the platform that pays you to talk about your life, but you're not going to talk about your life, but then you're going to sell your life on another platform. That to me is disingenuous, and it doesn't represent the platform that we are supposed to represent.
Right.
And then you think about that in the sense that, well, shit, you didn't want to divulge that information. Cool, we understand. But in order to keep that information at bay, you created, or your friend created, or whoever, someone created a narrative that was like, look, we've got this information and this information and this information that is not really damaging, but we can at least create a story that we can fuck up somebody else's shit really, really good. And that's the part that gets me. And I sent out the tweet, and the last couple of days, my Twitter has been going pretty apeshit because of some of the tweets that I have made. But these are my real feelings about this. And Candiace said it best in her tweet. Like, what are we really doing? Mm-hmm. This is supposed to be reality TV. And we're supposed to be sharing ourselves. And there's a lot of times where, I don't necessarily want to film. As a husband, I don't get paid for this. I'm here to support my wife. And yes, my wife makes a good amount of money doing this. But while it benefits our family, sure, I'm not always in the mood. I don't always want to do it. And the production team, their favorite line is, well, we're just trying to make a TV show here. And, the more you can be involved, the better it's going to be. And I buy into it. Like,
yeah,
I get it. But why are you forcing me to be a part of my wife's storyline when my wife has there were two different occasions that they had films up that didn't make it. Yeah. Her scripted show, like, she has so much going on. You don't need me for my wife to have story.
Yeah.
And she's very vocal on her own, as we all know. Like, she'll create her own story for whatever. But Juan doesn't necessarily film. Like, he does some stuff with Robyn, and that's cool. Yeah. And I'm okay being in that realm. That's okay. I'm okay with that. Well, Giselle, what do you have? Nothing. Like, yes, we've seen your kids, and that's awesome. I think that's the realest Giselle ever is when we see her with her children.
We comment frequently, for all of her shortcomings, Giselle's a good mom.
She's a phenomenal mother, and I think that is the most vulnerable and real that we ever see Giselle, is when she's with her kids. And that's amazing TV.
It's great. Yeah, we love those moments.
Phenomenal. Yeah. That's we see the vulnerability, we see the love, we see the interaction, and teenage daughters. I have one of my own. Like, those are difficult roads to navigate. And that's great. People want to see that because what makes reality TV great for whatever storyline is out there? The normal person sitting at home who can be like, I relate to that situation.
Yeah.
I have one child that I don't have a relationship with at all, right? He's going to be 21 in October. And it's a very difficult road. It's emotional for me. I don't know how to get past that. I probably could have done more earlier, and I'm at a point now where I feel like I've lost him, and it's heartbreaking for me. But I know that there are a lot of people out there who can relate to that story, and being able to hear and see somebody who struggles with it, who wants to build and create a relationship and doesn't know how, but can still move on, right? Reality TV is about creating emotions and parallels with the audience that they can be like, you know what? I never would have thought to deal with that situation in that manner. And I see that, and it enlightens them. It makes them feel seen. Whatever the reason is, right? That's what reality TV is supposed to be. Not this made up bullshit about ABC and let's take down this person and take down that person. You're supposed to be creating alliances or situations that people can relate to.
Yeah.
And like I said, I didn't always do things the right way. And I blame a lot of my relationship with my oldest son, or lack thereof. Some I put on his mother for sure, but if I'm being fully transparent, a lot of it falls on me also. There are a lot of things I could have done differently, but at 23, 24, what do you really know then as an adult, right? Mm-hmm. Not a lot. And you can only do what you can, but you learn from your mistakes, and I am grateful for the relationship that I have with my two youngest children, to be able to learn from that. Yeah. And you have a platform, and this goes for anybody who has a platform, whether it's an actor or actress, an athlete. People look at you in a different light. Mm-hmm. Somebody was trying to reach out to my wife. They couldn't get through to my wife. They sent me a DM on Instagram, and I happened to respond because it just, something piqued my interest and said I need to respond to it, and I did. And it was like, look, they just relate, and they just want to be able to say thank you or whatever it is. And we have a responsibility. We do, whether we want to admit that or not. And you guys are Philly guys. Charles Barkley, I'm not a role model. Bitch, yes, the fuck you are. Whether you want to admit it or not, you are. People look at you differently.
Yeah.
And I mean, I had the same sentiment as Charles. I'm not a role model. I'm a regular fucking guy who just happens to be on a TV show. But was it the Batman line with Spider-Man?
Spider-Man. Great power, great responsibility.
Yes, and whether we realize it or not, people look up to us, and you have to accept that, and you have to be responsible. And that's where I've drawn so much like anger and hurt from this season. Is like, I look at it that way. Why can't you?
Yeah.
And you're okay with being like, social media doesn't pay me. I don't give a fuck what they think, and I'm going to do whatever I want to, and fuck life.
Well, we've seen it, and I think it got really out of hand with the Beverly Hills season. They got so in tune with social media that they were taking all of their shit out on there.
Yeah.
I think there needs to be like a limit. They need to put like a screen time limit on how much they can interact with fans, because it got really messy. Like the Beverly Hills shit got just out of control, and it was a lot to do with them commenting on other people's posts. Like we had a post about Kathy Hilton, and we were talking shit about Kyle. To throw shade at Kyle, Paris Hilton liked our post because we were talking shit about Kyle. So to throw shade at her own aunt, she liked our post of talking shit about her.
Yeah.
Like that's the level that it got to.
Social media is crazy. Like you're right though, but people, they know that they can get to somebody because of this. But what I think has happened, and I don't watch a lot of reality TV outside of the housewives platform. Like I don't get into the Below Decks or the Southern Hospitalities, or I can only take so much. But what I think has happened, and again, I'm going to take this back to season 5 of Potomac, and I could be 100% wrong in this, but I feel like that was the jump off. These Bravo celebrities, if you will, the housewives, have taken to being fully engaged in Twitter. Twitter's the most toxic, volatile space for housewives, in my opinion.
Newbie, and I've learned the hard way because I had no idea about like subtweets or like quote tweets.
Candiace is the queen of a subtweet.
Oh yeah.
Well, I went down a rabbit hole of our own posts like after 6 months, and I had no idea. And I was like, oh, quote tweet? What the fuck is that? I clicked out, I was like, oh, these are mean. And then it was like subtweets. I'm like,
These
oh, this is
fucking idiots.
really fucking mean. Like, I thought we were like killing it. Everyone loved us. I was like, oh, we do have haters.
Yeah.
But I think what has happened is a lot of these housewives, they are reading these posts and these comments, and they're like, and I'll use Candiace as an example. For 2 seasons, it was really popular to hate Candiace, and blogs. If you put Candiace whatever in your title and your blog and your description, you were getting clicks, likes, and views beyond. Like if you hated Candiace, you were a superstar. You were getting everything. And now this season, because she literally paid nothing. Like, oh, I know my man and we're good. I'm not even going to I literally think that they started these rumors or thoughts because they expected her to react the way that she had in previous seasons. And people would say, oh, she's overreacting. Candiace is vile. She says this, and it was going to make them even more popular. But she didn't do that. And it has backfired. Mm-hmm. But again, across all franchise, I think that these housewives are starting to read the tweets and see what the fans are thinking. Yep. Where's the popular opinion? Okay, I'm going to go in that direction. Mm. And that's only going to last for so long because from what I have heard from executives at Bravo and NBC Universal and whatever, social media is a very, very, very small component of the overall audience.
Oh, okay. I would believe that, actually. Yeah.
I mean, if I go down Twitter and I search the hashtag RHOP, I mean, I see the same 50 to 100 people constantly commenting, right? But if we look at the ratings, well, we got 800,000 viewers regularly, right? Right? Sometimes we eclipse 1 million. Sometimes we're in the 700,000 range, whatever. 100 people to 800,000 is a very, very small percentage. Like they do their focus groups and they do their research. They know what works and whatever. And social media is a very small aspect. But people feel empowered on these platforms, Twitter especially.
Yeah, they can hide behind the electronic face.
I mean, if you look at it, 99% of them,
they
have a housewife picture profile.
Yeah, that's a profile of their favorite housewife, and then like
15 followers.
Their handle is like something about like Dorit's handbag or like something stupid, and then we'll say some shit about Dorit, and who's the first person to comment?
Dorit's handbag.
Like, these fucking idiots. Like, you guys don't even know Dorit. It's like, bitch, do you? Like, what are you talking
about? And I just joined last month, and I have 3 followers.
Yeah. And they all agree with me, by the way.
It's just my other Twitter.
But human nature is like, you feel inclined, like, you want to respond to that because, like,
he does it all. It's really funny to watch him because he gets so mad, and I'll go on
every once in a while.
Like he doesn't do a lot on Twitter. Like I'll handle the Twitter, like he said, he's like a Twitter newbie, and I'll go on and I'll be like, "What the fuck is this?"
Like, don't engage with those people.
And it's just like one person with like 2 followers. It's just like, and they fuck these guys. Straight men need to get the hell out of here. And Steele's like, no, we're good. We're gonna stay. And I'm like, dude, you don't have to engage with those idiots.
But you feel inclined. He gets mad. You want to defend yourself.
Well, so now he'll just screenshot. Now he'll just screenshot and send it to me and be like, "You fucking believe this?"
But on TikTok, I get it. I do TikTok and Instagram. So on there, like every once in a while, I find myself like there was one guy. The ones that really get me are the ones that don't use logic. Like when they don't make any sense, that's when I'm like, well, you need to explain yourself because this doesn't make sense. And then they explain themselves and it makes even less sense. And then I get aggravated and then I fire back. And next thing I know, I'm in like a 7-comment war with some random. I'm like, this is a really shitty look for us. I need to stop responding.
But the problem is, the issue is because I'm going to say it and crucify me if you want. Straight men, we don't get it.
Oh,
like our thought process is very different than the majority of the Housewives universe, right?
Yep.
And that's not a bad thing. No disrespect to any whatever, wherever you represent and feel good. We support that, but the way people think is different.
Yeah, it's just
right.
different.
Whether
We have
you're a
an
woman,
audience.
whether you're gay, whether you're straight, whatever it is, man, we all think differently and we relate differently. And there's no wrong answers, but it can be frustrating. Like you can ignore 500 comments, and then there's one, it just strikes a nerve, and you're like, oh, fuck you, I'm gonna respond because God damn, this ain't it. And you just, and then you get stuck.
And then you keep responding. And then you get to a certain point where you respond one too many times. You're like, fuck, I should have stopped.
Right, because it's like,
this was a good time.
I'm going to get the last word. You're not going to tell me to shut up. I'm going to make you shut up. And you get stuck.
And then this dumbass will text me. I guess I'm the dumbass. And he
Dumbass.
He's like, dude. And I'm like, I know.
He knows exactly what I'm talking about as soon as I say
he
it.
goes,
Just
dude,
like,
I'm sorry.
I have finally, after 5 years or however many years we've been on the show, I finally gotten to the point where I'm like, because Candiace, Andy, rightfully so, Candiace, you're a disaster on Twitter. She was really bad for a long time, and she's gotten really good, and that's great. Now, I will say that there are some other housewives who have been more of a disaster that didn't get called out, but that's a different podcast for a different time. But I have now gotten to the point, because if we're being 100% completely honest, I am pettier, shadier, messier, nastier than Candiace. 100%. But I am a nice guy. I want to be friendly, and I'm going to give you all the grace in the world until you have exceeded your grace period, and I'm just going to ruin you. And that was right, we saw this season where I sent a tweet out that something about you're going to be sorry. Like, you have surpassed the amount of grace I'm willing to give, and I'm going to grind this into the ground until you are done. But I've gotten to the point where I'm like, Candiace, can I tweet this?
That's good. That's better.
That's a good point.
I'm gonna start doing that with him. Hey, shooter, can I
like,
respond to this?
I mean, it's good. And another tactic that Candiace and I have both sort of adopted is we will type the tweet and send it to the draft, and it's because you feel good once you get it out. Like, you feel good.
I like that method. I might have to do. I might have
send
to
it to the draft.
I've gotten
Read
bad
it,
on
read
that.
it
on
a
it
couple of
for a
days, see
minute,
if you still
and then be
feel
like,
the same way.
Do I feel it?
So, and you don't have to answer by any means, but just with the paywall thing, with the Patreon, on top of Juan getting named in that lawsuit, do you think it's possible that we don't see Robyn next season? Would she check out? And again, you don't have to answer if you're not comfortable. Just I was wondering your take.
No, it's a valid question. And, Candiace and Robyn have had a very good friendship on and off camera. I mean, they get into it a little bit, whatever. Nothing's been too serious.
They seem to get over it every time.
Yeah. And Candiace looks at Robyn as a good friend. Robyn, I mean, I don't know how familiar you guys are with the Divine Nine and Black Greek sorority, but Robyn is a Delta. A majority of Candiace's family is Delta. And Candiace has always been supportive of Robyn. Robyn has always said that this situation with Juan, it's being over-analyzed and overplayed in the media.
Mm-hmm.
And Candiace and I always like to take our friends, or who we consider as friends until they show us otherwise. And Robyn has always been Robyn was the only person who showed up to Candiace's DC show when she was doing her tour.
Yeah.
And we would like to believe that Robyn is a real legitimate friend.
Mm-hmm.
And she says there's nothing to worry about, that everything is fine. Now, anybody can say whatever they want to and name anybody they want in a lawsuit. And if I'm sure you guys, as much as I have seen the post and seen the tweets and whatever, and it looks damning. I mean, it doesn't look
great.
good.
Yeah,
it does not look good. Is that a true account? Who knows? She has continued to move on the way that she always has, and I would like to believe her and Juan. And there's always three sides to every story, right? A, B, and the truth.
Yep.
And like I said, I've read it, and it doesn't look good. But from her standpoint and what she has said and what Juan has said to her, who has been then relayed to us, they're okay. And I want to believe that. And that's where I'm going to go with it. So where does that leave her for the show? I mean, I feel that if I'm me speaking as me and only me and like, it's crazy how you have to like
clarify.
Yeah,
like,
of course. Yeah.
Like shit. I think she's okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I think that while a lot of social media is upset, rightfully so, in the way that some of the things that have come out over the last couple of weeks, why didn't you share this on the show? Why are we paying for this? And they want to see her fired. Robyn brings a dynamic to the show that I think is necessary, in the sense that while she is very good friends with Giselle, she is still her own person. I know a lot of people think she's a shadow and subscribes to what Giselle says. And people are going to probably crucify me and say like, oh, you're being soft. I like to believe people for what they give me.
Okay.
And everything that I have been given by Robyn face to face just says that there's a place for her on this platform. She deserves to be in the role that she is in. I disagree with charging people for your story. Fully disagree with that. I think that was a bullshit move and
not reasonable, but shady.
Yeah.
Not even shady. It wasn't reasonable. It wasn't shady. It was fucked up.
Yeah.
Like you're charging people to hear your real life that a network is paying for you to give on a platform, right? You are paid a good amount of money to give your real life. And you said, you know what? I'm not going to give that. I'm going to give this, and then I'm going to charge you for this. Like, double dipping, not bait and switch. What's the finance term for that? It's like, there's a term, and I'm drawing a blank in the moment, but you took advantage of a situation, and it's fucked up. That's how I feel about that. But
sort of like insider trading. I think double.
Like an insider trading type.
Double
deal.
dipping is actually correct because
I think
she is getting paid for her reality on a show,
but
and then also withholding some of that and charging on top of it. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like we know that Bravo just can't be happy with that. Like they got to be pissed off. And be like, yeah, what?
As far as I know, they are not.
Yeah.
And I'm sure there will be some repercussions. Is she going to get
waited? Like the timing is very suspicious.
Timing
she
sucks.
waits
right after the reunion. And you sat up there and didn't say anything during some significant parts.
Yep.
And it's like,
it was strategic.
And as someone who was thrown under the bus all season, I'm like, fuck.
Yeah,
but again, back to my personality. I'm like, I'm defending you in this moment.
Yep, exactly.
And it's like, fuck me.
Yep.
Like, am I just a little bitch?
I know, but I mean, you're kind of between a rock and a hard place. Like, if you go too hard, right? If you start to chime in at the wrong time, or you seem like too aggravated in a moment, or you seem like you care too much, you care too little, like you are walking such a thin line just because you want to move the fuck on. You've been vindicated from all this bullshit. It's time to like close the door on this season. So if you overstep at the reunion, now you shoot yourself in the foot. So it's like, what the fuck are you supposed to do?
Here, you want to know the fucked up part? And this is the shit that I think about. Today is February 2nd?
Yes.
The
Sure.
2nd. Right.
Yep.
We are
October.
right. We are in the beginning of Black History Month. The reunion is going to air in February during Black History Month. I am, at this point, the only white man on a predominantly black. Well, it's all black except for me.
Yeah.
I mean, Michael was not seen this season. I don't think. I didn't see him.
Thankfully.
But
I have a question about him later.
okay, that's cool. And Candiace and I talk about this, like, how can I be, as a white man, on a platform of all black people, defending myself, berating a black woman, like being upset and be like, but I have a right to defend myself. But it's like, fuck, the line is razor thin.
Yeah.
Yeah, it really is.
That is tough.
And it's like, I respect all of these women that we work with. Like, I really legitimately do, even to the detriment of my relationship with Candiace, because she's not always on par with them. And if we go back to, was it season 3? I think it was our first season. And Cherise, it was season 3. Cherise's charity event, Candiace and Giselle were not getting along, but Giselle shows up, she's delivering water, and I'm helping her. Like, I'm too much a gentleman. I'm going to help. Like, I don't get into your bullshit. I'm just going to be a man and help and do what I can in the moment. But now to sit up here and have to berate these women because I'm pissed off at what you said and what you did, and the majority of our audience is black, and you got this white man up here like going in. I was like,
that is tough.
it's crazy. Like,
That's a really tough situation.
I
That's a
wish
rock
it
and a
on
hard
no
place.
one.
Yeah, that's a rock and a hard place. And
It's
like,
tough, but I can only be who I am, and I'm not going to change that. And luckily, and thankfully for me, I give 2 fucks about social media because I have a very, very supportive group of people who have known me well before this platform.
Yeah.
right.
And I can say, even people that I went to high school with that I haven't talked to since high school, that I get messages from, and the messages that are like, I haven't spoken to you in 20 years, but the guy that I see on TV is the same guy that I knew 20 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
That's refreshing.
I'll take that over anybody who's like, oh my gosh, I loved what you said today. Or the person's like, you're just somebody who wants to be in women's business, whatever.
Yeah.
Those are the people that maybe I was friends with you, maybe I wasn't, whatever. But you took the time to message me and be like, it's nice to see that TV didn't go to your fucking head, right?
Yeah, that's a good thing to read.
And that's how I live my life. Like,
Yeah.
I've said this before on different podcasts. I don't remember if I said it when I spoke to you guys before, but of all the people on our show, I'm the only one who is from this area, this DMV area.
Yeah.
Everybody else is a transplant. So I've built my career in restaurants for 30 years in DC, Maryland, and Virginia. So there are a lot of people who know me. And for people to say, you know what, it's good to see the guy that I met as a bartender, 20 years ago or whatever, is the same guy I see on TV. Your demeanor, your composure, whatever it is still the same. Because how the fuck can I be one guy behind the bar or behind on the line or in a restaurant as a GM, whatever, being one way, and then I get on TV, but I want you to come to my restaurant and be like, hey, what? Who are you?
Yeah.
Right? I only have one way to be, and that's the only way I'm gonna be. And take it or leave it, it is what it is.
I think we saw it like for the majority of the season, and I'm going to kind of bring it home here because we could probably do this all night, and we've almost been 2 hours, and there has to be an end at some point.
Yeah. Yeah, like
willing
get
to
your
come
question
back
about Michael in here. I want
anytime.
to see where this is
Oh,
going.
yeah. Let me start with that, and then we'll finish with something else. First and foremost, I want to point out that you are wearing sweatpants pulled up to your mid-ankle, which
Yeah,
Shooter
appreciate
has
it.
to be
You know,
thrilled.
Always.
Yeah.
I love it.
Saw it
Thank
as
you
soon as
for
you
that.
walked in the door. Love it.
There's an Instagram picture of me on my profile with the same look, so I understand. I get where you're coming from, despite this guy.
Comfortability.
Despite this guy. But, so I never in my life thought that I would have a chance to talk to somebody that has met and interacted with Michael Darby before. What, like, Potomac has been my favorite for a while. Before we started the podcast, I used to watch with my wife, and like, even before we were married, I was like, oh, this is a franchise. I really enjoy this one. This one's good. But he always like skeeved me the fuck out. Like, he always gave me the creeps, and then watching everything unfold, and then you get that weird thing where he slaps the cameraman on the ass, and then also like all of his off-color comments. There's just a lot of creepy shit going on. So as somebody that knows him, is he actually like that in person? Is he actually that creepy and like rub people the wrong way?
100%. So, God. Listen, I hate that motherfucker.
Yeah.
I do not, I tried to give him a chance. I really did. And so I think it was on the show. I don't know if it was season 3 or season 4. Ashley had a drag competition. The night she sung that song, Coffee and Love, right? I was working that night, so I couldn't make the actual thing, but I showed up at the restaurant Oz after the fact. And so it was a weird atmosphere. It was what it was. But I went over to the bar. Michael was sitting at the bar. He's a big Caps fan. Capitals, I know you guys and the Penguins. Well, you
Whoa.
Sorry.
Jeez.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Jesus. God,
Yeah, dude, come on.
you fucking sportsman. You just failed. You stupid fuck.
Yeah, you know sports.
Right.
Get the fuck out of here.
Right. Jesus Christ. Look, I don't like the Penguins either. But anyway.
Sidney Crosby's a bitch.
He's never going to hear that.
Agreed. Anyway, so the Caps are on team. So and I'm trying to have a conversation. It's just me and him. We're at the bar. And I'm just trying to have a normal conversation. There's no cameras. There's no nothing. And all this guy wants to talk about is his goddamn money. And I got this and I got that. And everybody says my restaurant's going to fail because it's fucking kangaroo meat, dude, in Arlington. Now, I don't know if you guys are familiar with Arlington, Virginia, but it's a bunch of fucking mid-20s to mid-30s white guys who just want to drink beer and eat pizza and find a girl to fuck. That's Arlington, Virginia.
Is that on the sign for like their slogan? Welcome to Arlington.
Arlington. White guys and fucking. That's it. It's really that is the motive. But anyway, I'm trying to talk to him, and I just get annoyed with the conversation because like I'm just trying to talk to you guy to guy. I don't care about your money. I don't care where you've been or what you've done. Like, who are you as a person? And I just never got that real person from him. And it didn't come up this year at the reunion, but the fact of the matter is, the only reason that Michael Darby never saw the inside of a jail cell is because I said no instead of yes. And if I was a petty motherfucker, all I had to do was say yes. The cameraman, that situation, forget what they showed you on the show at Monique's house. Mm-hmm. I don't know about that situation. I wasn't there. But the situation that I do know about, the party at L2, a bar in Georgetown. Mm-hmm. It was like the 80s party or whatever, and he was dressed like a Will Smith character or whatever it was. He and I were having a conversation between two pillars in this bar. The cameraman walks through. And as the cameraman is walking between the two of us, I glance over at the bar where my wife is and just seeing what they're doing. And I don't see the actual action. But in that glance over here, and then the glance back, and that cameraman in the conversation between him and Michael, I'm an honest person. And I did not see Michael grab that man's ass.
Okay.
And so I will never say that he did it because I didn't see it. Mm-hmm. But based on the conversation and the way things went, he grabbed that motherfucker's ass. He did it. Like, the tension and the conversation and the fuck you and I'm sorry. And look, Michael can be a playful guy.
That's creepy.
God, the fuck that I'm giving this motherfucker. And this is my personality. Like,
You don't have to give him any grace here.
I can't believe I'm giving him grace, because what I'm going to tell you in the next 2 minutes, you'll be like, why the fuck did you do that?
Then stop. Then just stop it. You just stop giving him grace.
I can't. That's just my personality. Like, I cannot condemn somebody if I didn't see it. As much as I want to.
That's fair.
That's fair.
That's fair.
If I had to bet I am a bet. I gamble the fuck out of everything that I can. And my wife hates, like, don't gamble that. Fuck it. I got good odds. This fucking happened. But this shit, it is what it is. But my wife performed in the Bahamas a few months ago. Michael Darby is apparently a frequenter of the SLS resort in the Bahamas where my wife was performing. When she was performing, it was their 5-year anniversary. He was at the fucking resort. A Bravo NBC Universal publicist person who was there handling my wife for this event. Michael Darby went up to her, thought it was Candiace, threatened her, and said, how dare you speak about me like this, and blah, 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 and like went in, and she was like, yo, like, he was like, oh, sorry. And if I was over here and I saw I didn't know what was happening, but grabbed her by the arm and was like,
oh shit.
If I was over there and that had been, I'd have thrown that motherfucker off the rooftop.
You've been doing a lot of people.
I do not like him. Season 4 or season 5, whenever we saw Juan's birthday party at the haunted house, and Michael wasn't around for filming because there was suspicion of him grabbing someone's ass. Yeah. And this was his first scene back. Production was like, yo, go talk to Michael. I don't want to talk to Michael. I don't fucking like that guy. Like, no, we're trying to make TV. Just go talk to him. I'm like, whatever, fine. Hey, Michael, what's going on? How are you? He's on his phone, fucking ignoring me. Whatever. He ignores me, whatever. I try to have conversation. He looks up. There's a fucking camera guy. I didn't even know the camera guy was right. Camera guy right across from Rost. And Michael looks up. He sees the camera. And he's like, and he fucking disappears. And I just look at the camera. I'm like,
see, that
told you it wasn't going to fucking work.
Yeah.
But then he goes and gets Juan, who was like with his kids at the time.
Yeah, because he wants to blow them.
Yeah.
You don't have to say it. I'll say it.
It brings Juan back. And now all of a sudden it's the three of us and we're having this conversation and we're talking about extreme sports. And we're talking about snowboarding versus skiing. And I'm like, yeah, I don't like snowboarding because as a soccer player in a attempt at professional soccer, fucked my knee up, got all messed up, whatever. Snowboarding put a lot of pressure on my knee. And I preferred skiing to snowboarding. It was a little less pressure. It was easier to deal with. So you're scared.
Michael Darby asked you if you were scared?
Yeah. And I was like, Christ. No. Like, I prefer this to this. I've done both. This is easier. And he starts, like, all of a sudden he's happy and he's, like, trying to go in. I'm like, 5 minutes ago, you didn't even fucking want to talk to me.
Yeah.
And from that point, I was like,
fuck this guy.
Fuck this guy. Like, he's a piece of shit. I stand by it. Fuck you, Michael Darby.
I second that.
Yep. I don't like the guy. Season 5 finale. I don't know how I didn't beat the shit out of it because I wanted to hit that motherfucker so goddamn bad.
It's not worth it.
At the end,
guy like that, it's not fucking worth it.
Because Michael Darby, I know you're a litigious motherfucker. I don't know if I can say it, so I'm not going to. But
if he's litigious, then you might get slander. You might get a slander suit.
I've gotten paperwork, Michael, but I know you and I know the truth, and if you really want to take it that route, I mean, it is what it is. But he's a piece of shit. I fucking hate that motherfucker.
I'm thinking
Glad we
I-
cleared the air there. Yeah,
I showed you some DMs I had earlier.
Yeah.
I've got some others if you'd like to see them.
Oh, Jesus.
I mean, obviously,
Dick pics
yeah.
probably
She
from
could,
Michael Darby.
No, there's no
Michael
dick
send you a dick
pics.
pic?
There's no Michael Darby dick
We do
pics.
not want to see any Michael Darby dick pics.
I don't want to
Let's
see
make that
Michael
clear.
Darby's dick.
But where the fuck is my? Oh, it's right here. I'm gonna just pass it to you real quick. I'm gonna let you read it. But
All right. We gotta unfortunately wrap this thing up because it is now over 2 hours. So we
listen,
put
I'll
out
come back whenever you guys want.
That's
It's a short John up
Yep.
here.
That's perfect. That works for us.
Oh, yeah.
So we put out questions. We asked our listeners to give us some questions, and we got a shit ton. So I'm going to just pick one at random here. All right.
Steele has a really hard time reading usernames.
I really
It's fucking
do.
hilarious.
Yeah, it's like
So,
it's an
love
ongoing
for that.
shtick, but it's not actually me trying to be funny. It's just, and I can read very well, and I can speak very well, but when it comes to reading the usernames, something gets crossed in
Listen,
my brain.
when I do my lives, I'm like,
Okay,
what is that?
All right,
I
yeah.
don't even know what you're
He
saying.
gives me shit for it, but like I
It's
try my
difficult.
best.
Have you ever tried to do this?
Yeah, it's easy.
Yeah, he can do it like off the cuff. I can't. All right.
I also cannot.
All right, from let's start with a heavy one, and then we'll ease off. From nats.g.r. See, that's easy.
Yeah.
And Nats, Nationals, hey, Potomac, hey.
Yeah.
I played against the Potomac Nationals. But
Okay, Prince
Anyway.
William County. Go
yeah,
ahead.
there you go. Yeah, that garbage stadium, but whatever.
Yeah.
Has the drama from the ladies affected your relationship with Candiace at all?
No.
Good.
Which is amazing because Candiace and man, if I knew what love was, right? Candiace and I have the most amazing relationship. I've never been able to be as open and honest with anybody, right? Man, woman, whatever, friendship, relationship, whatever. And this was one of the conversations we had before being on the show, like when we were being considered. I was like, listen, communication is huge for me. I need to be able to know where we are at every moment, at every time. And like I can tell her anything. Like I can tell her, this hoe sent me some titties in my DMs. Like I didn't ask for that shit. Like we were talking about food and then there was titties. Like and it's great. Like I can tell her anything. And this is why she did not react to the bullshit, because she knew I told Giselle I want to talk to her. I messaged, responded to a story, however you want to look at it. I don't care how you want to look at it. But she knew that I'd already talked to Ashley and said you should have come to W. So we have such an open communication line that no, it hasn't affected us at all. Our relationship is so strong that that's why she was able to not respond. And I think the ladies really wanted to see Candiace pop off and go buck fucking wild like she has done previous seasons and be like, oh, Candiace is so detrimental to our group. We need to get rid of her. But she didn't give them what they wanted because she knows me and I know her, and we have our own issues, but together, you're not going to break this off some dumb shit.
Good.
Love to hear that. Love to hear that. All right. Up next. From Basic Wendy 72. I'm just going to start reading the ones with easy names. How surprised were you that Juan Dixon is a 2-time cheater, pumpkin eater?
So, knowing Juan, and like, I want to believe Robyn's story that he just dropped a credit card and just felt the. God,
You're
That
being
doesn't
too
even-
nice. You're definitely being too
Right.
nice.
Too nice.
Listen, whatever works for them works for them, and I'm not here to judge nobody's relationship.
That's
I like
a
that.
great
Let's do that.
sidestep. Tremendous sidestep.
love
Well
that.
done. We love a good
Let's do that.
sidestep. Love a
Good
good
at it.
sidestep.
Like the conversation, Juan is from what I know of Juan and the conversations I've had with him, he is a good guy. And there's always somebody trying to get you, but Juan's a good guy. Go from there. I don't know the
Next question.
right. I don't know the intricacies of their relationship, and I don't care to.
All right.
All right. On to the next one from Sarah Pod.
Wow, you got all the good ones
I'm
tonight.
telling you, I'm reading all the easy ones, dude. No. There's some disaster ones I'm just avoiding. But who is his favorite Potomac housewife who isn't your wife? But the funny one about this, and this is just a testament to the season you had, unfortunately, in parentheses, capital, not in a romantic way, obviously, just to clarify.
So after this season and watching it playing out, I hate all of them. I don't like nobody. I don't care. Say what you want. No disrespect, Wendy. No disrespect, Wendy. But in all honesty, so after the reunion, on the train ride back from, because we filmed in New York this year, on a train ride back to DC, I was on a train with Mia and Gordon. Literally, I had my own seat, and Mia and Gordon were literally right across from me. Candiace really likes Mia. I honestly believe Mia gets caught up too much in the social media aspect of everything, and she's just trying to find her way. And if she would just, like Candiace said on Watch What Happens Live a couple weeks ago, if Mia would just realize that she is enough on her own and just be herself, she would be great. She would be great. Gordon and I have a great relationship. Listen, the three of us had the entire car cracking up. Like, our train was at like 10:30 or something in the morning, and Gordon and I were just kind of looking at each other like, who's going to order the first drink, because we're in the first class, right? And it's all paid for. And we're like, and by the time we got to that first drink, we just started going in and had the whole car. Like, there was somebody sitting in front of us who was a blogger who knew, like, was taking selfies with us. And we had everybody cracking up. And they're a great couple. Misunderstood on the show, I think, a little bit, because
That's their own doing, honestly.
it is their own doing. A lot of that to Mia, I think. Again, like I said, I think she plays into the social media aspect of it.
Sorry.
No. Look, I think any woman coming onto this platform within the last 2 years wants to be popular, right? I mean, being popular creates longevity, gets you more money, right?
I understand the mindset. My why I made that noise. Did she legit put $60,000 of reno into a rental house? Is that real? That can't be real.
I can either
I think we saw that last episode. Like, she walked in, I forget who came
Yeah,
over.
and they're like, these floors. Did you put Giselle did?
Giselle came in. She's
Like,
like, oh, you put these floors in. Like, you put in this, like, chandelier and everything.
Why?
And she's like, you're renting this. Like, what?
I've
This
been
is
lost.
free
So-
shit to that
Lost on
person.
me.
I didn't watch that episode. I
Yeah.
can neither confirm nor deny whether or not she did that.
Mm-hmm.
But as somebody who has spent a significant amount of time in the finance world, yes, ladies and gentlemen, I have done more than just cook and be in restaurants. I'm not a deadbeat like you think. If you did that, who is your financial advisor?
It's like
and
lighting money on
like,
fire.
Yeah.
literally flush it down the fucking toilet.
Yep.
Or give it to me, because my mother-in-law's allowance is not enough and I need more. So, no. But, like, if you did that, somebody is misguiding you. And from the conversations that G and I have had, like, I can't believe that you did that. But you said that you did, and I have to take you at what you
I
said.
want to be that
Yeah.
landlord that
And-
walks in like, hey, your rental lease is up, and then come back to my house and be like, wow, this looks great. Thank
Right.
you so much.
You dropped 60 G's in my shit?
Get the fuck out.
Yeah. Lease is up, bitch. Go.
I can charge
Like,
3 times as much as I was charging you. Yeah.
That don't make no sense.
I was
Yeah.
lost on me. It just
So
it blew
I
my mind.
am just as much confused as that
Okay,
person.
that's refreshing. Oh no, that was my question.
Oh,
That's been bugging the shit out of me.
That was
Anyway,
from Steele
Roussel.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh. From Dom Denise. Thoughts on Katie Rost coming back? Question mark.
yo, Katie is a wild card. Every interaction that Candiace and I have had with Katie has been awesome. Katie's a fun girl. But that being said, you have to consider people's mental state and where they're at, right? And Katie has some well documented issues that she has put out on social media herself and gone through rehab. And if Katie is comfortable and in the right mindset to share her life, Candiace and I love her. She's amazing, and we welcome Katie with open arms. She's, like I said, a wild card. She's gonna go with wherever she feels in the moment, and she's real, and that's what this platform needs is realness, and Katie will deliver realness. She doesn't hold back. Katie's special. She is a good person at heart.
All right. That's a solid answer.
Positive answer.
All right, we got 2 more questions. The last one is my favorite one, but
Okay.
this one, you wanted the heavy stuff. All right, so this is
heavy.
This is a heavy.
All right,
one.
let's give it all.
Oh man, of course.
Somebody's name I can't
Yes.
pronounce.
Thank God.
From
do it?
Yeah, actually. You want me to try?
And see which one is
What does that say?
Top right.
Fucking hell.
Welcome to my world.
Ah, yes.
I think it's just a bunch of letters. ADJ EEADJ.
You
Oh.
cheated.
It's
I'm ADJ.
It's ADJ EE. No.
No,
I was thinking
I'm
it's
gonna say-
ADJ.
I'm going to say Adja. That's my guess.
All right.
I don't know.
Adja.
It's A-Day, dude. What the
A-Day.
fuck?
A day DJ.
ADJEEADJ. I apologize if Adja is not the right thing.
We butchered your whole
I'm
shit,
so
but we
sorry.
love your question.
We love your
So
question.
Here it is.
All right, here you go. Can Monique and Candiace ever reconcile?
Wow.
You wanted the heavy shit.
I did. As much as I would like to see it happen, because I think they were both played by the women on the show in a manner that has set them up for failure. I think there has been some irreparable, is that word irreparable,
Yeah, you're good.
right?
Yeah, that's a good word.
Damage that has been done, and they're both very prideful women that I don't think either one is ever going to give in.
Okay.
They could have been dynamic. I think.
Yeah,
I think the fans also agree. They could have been dynamic, but I think one of them was too caught up in trying to outgrow the shadow of their husband. I did not play professional football.
Hint, hint. Hint.
I mean, listen, when you spend a large portion of your life being referred to as, oh, you're the football player's husband,
Yeah.
and then you finally get the chance to shine, and you don't want to lose. I mean, everybody wants to be recognized, right? And I don't fault her for that or anybody for that. I just feel that they were pitted against each other in a way that just didn't allow them to be great. They both succumbed to situational things that just it didn't work out in their favor, and it was unfortunate.
That's a good answer.
Is there a place to reconcile? Right now, I don't think so, because one person keeps standing by what we know to be things that were not true, and the other one, if you're not going to acknowledge things that aren't true, I cannot move forward.
All right.
That's fair.
Fair.
Reasonable.
Good answer.
It's a good answer. It's a good answer. And the last one.
I would like them to move forward. I would say that I would like for there to be a way, because Chris and I we've had conversations via text message, nothing in depth, but Happy New Year, Merry Christmas. He's an Alabama fan, I'm a Florida fan, so obviously there's that SEC rivalry.
Mm-hmm.
It could be more like, I mean, I think the detriment of this is the fact that in some interviews, Monique said I was never really friends with Candiace. And
It's tough to come back
Yeah,
from
that's
right. It's tough because like I said, Candiace and I, we are very open. We're gonna give everything to every relationship ever. And if you say you put on for a show, it's tough to come back from that. And that's no disrespect to Chris because everybody's individuals, right? But I would like to see them get back together. I would like to see that. I think they could have been dynamic and great. I truly believe that.
I agree with you. I agree. The last one that we have, and it's probably the best question, from Kristen Cullen 7. Excuse me. Is your dick really purple?
Nope, it's not purple.
There you have it. We finally got to the bottom
It's
of
not
the answer.
But
now there is the brown content, right? That's been talked about. Still talking about this 7 years later. Jesus,
a hard hit.
You're never going to outrun that one.
I'm not. I wish.
Nope,
I wish
especially not with me and this idiot. We're
no.
we're always gonna ask about it.
Yeah.
It's fine.
Every time we do an interview, I'll probably ask the same question, just to get an update.
We'll try to slip it in at some point. You know?
It's not purple. There's no purple.
All right.
But the last thing I want to do, dude, is just I want to give you a chance to just kind of say, how you're feeling after this season. You've been through a lot. It's been tumultuous. It's been, we've talked on the side. You've gone through a lot emotionally with this, trying to kind of handle it. So I want to give you just a little time to speak to our listeners, to whomever else is out there, and say your thoughts and feelings on everything and just kind of how you're doing now. And just if you want to tie a bow on it for us and just take us home.
For sure. I mean, look, this was the most difficult season I've had to deal with as a house husband. It's called Housewives, right? And you think as a husband, you expect to get some bullshit here and there, but never anything that is a detriment to your character. Like at the end of the day, all you have is your character. Right? Character is who you are when people are in front of you and when people aren't there, right? Your character speaks more to how you act when there's nobody around versus when there's people around. And to see some people try to damage that or discredit that is disheartening. It's hurtful. And so it has been hard. And I never want to discredit someone's feelings. You can never tell somebody how to feel, right? And I respect, and I said this at the reunion, I respect Giselle's feelings. Your feelings are your feelings. But the way you go about things and the words that you use, there are buzzwords, there are dog whistles, there are certain ways that you present facts or evidence or whatever that create a picture that tends to stick. And in this day and age, and Me Too and whatever, true or not, sexual harassment, sexual assault, those allegations tend to stick. Innocent, guilty, whatever. We've seen it. I mean, being someone who's more involved in the sports side of things as opposed to housewife, you see it in sports a lot. Athletes, especially in college, right? You're doing whatever it is you're doing. You lose scholarships, which then lose your professional career or whatever, and then come to find so-and-so made something up. And it's a very thin line to walk, to be on the right side of what is right. And I just think that we just need to be more careful, especially in the platform that we are in. I have family, I have children who had, like my kid, and I said this at the reunion, my kids' teachers watch this stupid fucking show. They talk about it with their mother. They hear my kids they hear about it. And they're asking me.
That sucks.
Dad, what? And I have to explain that shit. And that's I don't give two fucks what Giselle said or what Ashley said or what Sesame Street said. Right? I don't care what y'all said. But what I do care about is my son, who's 13 years old, who I'm trying to teach and show as a man, like, respect women. Like, you may think you're doing the right thing. No matter what, you've got to respect what they say. And if you think you're doing, but they say, oh, whoa, too much. I don't care if your dick is halfway in and she says, no, no, no. You better pull that shit out and pull your pants up and walk the fuck out. Difference and trying to explain that. And then have to explain that, son, listen, look, I know what people are saying, but that's the part that sucks.
That's really hard.
I feel like I'm rambling at this point, but it was a hard season. At the end of the day, it was a hard season. It was very emotional for me because I look at myself as somebody who I just want to get along with everybody. I want to make sure everybody is cool and having a good time because as somebody who's in the hospitality industry, that's your job, right? You want to I've been a bartender for I've been in this industry for 30 years in March, April, whatever. Doesn't matter. 30 years. The majority of that front of the house. Your job is to make sure people are okay and having a good time. And that's how I live my life. Like when we have parties or when we're in an event. Y'all having a good time? What can I get for you? Whatever. And see that to be taken advantage of is tough. So, but like I said at the beginning of this, at the reunion, I spoke my piece. I said what I had to say. The people that needed to hear it, I feel that everybody heard it, felt it, and I feel good about it at the end of the day. So the long answer is that I feel good. I'm okay at this point. The majority of the season sucked, but I spoke my piece and I'm good. And, if they ask us back for season 8, I'm sure we'll be there.
Well, we certainly hope that you'll be there because we enjoyed you both all season. But thank you for coming out. You got anything else?
No, good to go. Thanks for coming out. This is great.
I enjoyed it. I know I got a little in there at the end. It's just,
that's part of podcasting, though. You just fucking talk sometimes.
I mean, it's just, this season was it was a lot.
Yeah.
Like I said, I signed up for this to have fun. You have to expect at some point, it's just your turn to be in the mess.
Yep.
But there are certain things that just have to be off limits. Like, it's like you just can't make shit up that's just going to be detrimental to someone. Like I said, I lost probably 30, 40 grand this year in income because of clients who were like,
Jesus.
Nothing personal. We just, we don't want to be associated. A lot of the clients I work with are majority women own businesses, like virtual stuff. Like people just don't want to get involved. They don't.
Well, think about how much you could have put into a rental property with that money. Seriously.
You could have redone renovated
someone else's house.
Shit.
For fuck's sake.
Right. Mia, you want to rent this joint? Put another 60 G's in my shit.
Now get the fuck out.
Airbnb this bitch for fucking $3,000 a night.
We could do this all night, but
we could.
Chris, thank you for driving up. Thanks for coming out. This was awesome. I hope you said everything you wanted to say, and hope you guys enjoyed it at home listening. I'm sure we'll do this again.
On YouTube.
Oh yeah, YouTube, right? And,
YouTube.
Yes.
Hey. And I gotta.
Always nice to check in. Remember that you're there.
Yeah, I always forget. I always forget. But remember to give us a follow on Instagram, follow us on Twitter and TikTok, and subscribe on YouTube. I gotta always remember that one.
You got it.
But
all the things.
Yeah, all the things.
All those things.
All those things that people talk shit about us on. Follow us on those. But Chris, thanks for coming out, bro. Shoots, you got anything else?
Nope. Good to go. Thanks, Chris.
All right, thanks, Chris.
Thank you guys.
We'll see you guys later. Bye. Go Birds.